Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Today, we are not in Medium. We are going to do stuff in Gravity Sketch today. We're going to work again on some fundamental sort of design block-ins for an environment, and then we'll probably take it into Gravity later and set it up. So the first thing I want to do is, I like this. They actually added a ground plane that I kind of thought was cool. Where was it? Stage floor. Which gives us an easy way to set our level without having to actually build a ground. So that's cool. We'll leave this round one too. Why not? So that's our first thing we're going to do. We can make it bigger and smaller, just like anything else. This is Gravity 6 1.6. It just came out, so I'm still figuring it out a little bit. They changed around the interface quite a bit. So there's our mirroring if we want to do that. Woo! Gravity's got such nice line sketchy things. It's cool for doing stuff like this. I just want to play with it all the time. But that's not what we're making. All right, so let's pick a tool. With a revolve, we could do a cylinder. To start with, why not? Let's do that. Let's turn off mirroring though. We don't want mirroring on. There we go. It's off. Okay. So let's go back to our tool and set our width to like that. And whoa. No, I don't like that yet. I think it might be too wide. Trying to build like a volcano kind of thing, basically. Again, I'm not worried about the fact that it's perfect because that's easy to fix later down the line. But I want to set up like a little bit of a volcanic kind of area. And some lava tubes kind of thing like that. And one more lava tube. Okay. So we got these lava tubes down here on the ground. That's looking bizarre. Is that just the way it's screwing around? Yeah, I think so. All right. So I got these lava tubes. And now we're going to change our color just so I have a different layer mode. Oh, I don't want the other one. And go to that. Yeah, looks good. Okay. No, not that one. I'm going to go to that one. That's where I want to be. Right. Okay. So now we're just kind of build some rocks in and around here. I love the way that you can just kind of do this. This is a super cool tool for thinking about big shapes rather than getting caught up in details. Because, I mean, you can put details in there if you want to, but it's not really suited for that, in my opinion. It makes these amazing, smooth shapes that just help you feel like, oh, what's the overall silhouette going to be? So there's our big reed shape here. And I'm just going to kind of add a bit of ground to there. So like big rocks. Come around. It's a really different way to work than medium. I won't say I like, well, I don't know. I think I probably like medium better, but it's more probably familiarity than anything else. I'm just trying to create something here. I'm thinking about like how I want to look at this too. But what's our shapes going to be? Whoa, don't do that. What are our shapes going to be? Where do we want the eye to go? Just kind of like a long ridge sort of thing here. And you got to kind of think it's like the lasso tool in Photoshop is a good way to think of this tool. And I mean, this tool within Gravity. So like, if you want weirdnesses, it tends to smooth out. Like you can't See, like it just makes it bigger. So you can't do it all in one stroke necessarily, but it's super cool for stuff like that. It's like instant swap. And I'm just kind of laying out a ground foundation here. And I want to take him, and can I make him bigger? I forget. Can make him taller. Pull that out here. Yeah, so see, all this stuff is really adjustable after the fact. It's kind of cool for things the way we want it. And then okay. And wow, that one. We're going to select it. There we go. Yeah, I can make that a bit higher. Water at the bottom. Bring that down. I felt like they were a little too same in size, so I wanted that one big one. And then this one, I'm going to do that. And now I can just, no, undo. It's a little tricky sometimes for me. I have to, there we go. Duplicate it. Duplicate it. I'm just going to add a few more of those smaller ones. Duplicate and bring it down. Get it out here more too. Okay. Duplicate. I don't need to move it, but fine, whatever, I have moved it. There we go. You can make it bigger. And smaller. Over here like that. Just so we have this sort of sense that there's a bit of lava around here. Go back to our ground. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm exploring. I'm trying to find what I think looks like a good composition. That needs to go down a little bit. There we go. And then we'll probably take it into medium and scunge it up, to use a non, real word, but some rocks. There we go. Okay. Damn it. I do wish you could lock things so you couldn't move them anymore. And maybe I will do that with a new layer, just so I don't, because you can do it with a new layer. So I don't mess with it too much. Once I kind of get the ground where I want it to be. Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, so you see, because this is simpler, it can be easier to focus on the shape language versus just doing what I want. I'm going to try one thing. Let's try taking one of these small ones, duplicate it, and do it like that off the big one. You want to do that? It's kind of got this multi-lava tube. And select it and edit it. Moving it up, down, out, in. I don't really like to do too much of this during the time, just because it's, I want to stay in the creation and not the editing process. But, and then we can, like that. There we go. Yeah, okay, sure. So it's kind of got a side growth thing. All right, let's save, just because I've never had gravity crash on me, but, hey. 190430 Lava Village. Okay. And we are saved. Who knew, right? Didn't even take a book. Just kind of adding some rocks. I want to mirror some of those volcano shapes. On the other hand, I don't want to obscure them too much either. So, just gonna go with a big rock over here. Oh, it makes this interesting. It makes the ground bigger as you go wider. Didn't realize that. Let's see. Yep, see, makes the ground bigger. Let's stay in our lane. I don't really want to go much wider than that. I'm coming down here and doing it sort of almost from ground level. But I want to remember that it's like big. So like this is going to be more our size. And we're looking at it like that. Okay, when we look at it like that, this rock seems a bit weird here to me. So let's do that. So it's not quite so like leany. We are going to come back through and smooth down those in medium. Well, not smooth them, but like actually irregularize them and unify them a bit more. The opposite of smoothing. Okay, but as I like, this is our thumbnail for our landscape. Feeling pretty good about it. I think I'm going to take maybe this guy one more time. Bring him more over here. And edit him. Bring him up. Bring him in. Bring that in. There we go. So we have one kind of off to the side like that. We can kind of feel like if this is our entry point, then we're looking in and we have a close object and then the far ones. Cool. Save. Sure, just overwrite the file. Piss off. And let's go to a new layer just so I don't mess with the first one. Now I can lock it. And then I won't mess with it. 1 second, guys. Want to be? I don't know. Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter. Look like someone's trying to talk to me, but it doesn't seem like they are. Yep. So now it's locked. So now I can come into my new layer and start working on the village part. And I'm going to select a new color. Okay. Yep. Good. I like that one. And a new tool. Let's just go to, for right now, just make some blobs. I think it's as big as that'll get. But these are going to be like houses. I'm just placing some fairly random shapes. And I think I am going to need to go bigger. So let's go with a different primitive circle. Yeah, okay. And yeah, see now I can place circles of differing size like that. There's one. There's one. So again, we're tentatively thinking this is our entryway point into our village. So we're kind of looking at it like that. Just for thinking about where things we might want to put compositionally. Doop, 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 doop. This is just so much fun, man. It's like Legos. Lower ones. And let's put like up here on the side there. And then here. So these are going to be built in this area for warmth and power, right? So I'm going to kind of be thinking about that. Like, this is our village. See, it's already starting to feel sort of town-like to me. Gotta use your imagination, right? But we all played with Legos. We know what I'm talking about here. Okay. And shrink. I don't want that one quite that large. So you can adjust it. Vertically like that. And okay. So yeah, so you can even adjust those circles to make them less circular, but I can also do that in medium super easily. So right now I'm thinking more about placement than I am about the shape. And if you're looking at it from here, you want to feel like, like that matte painting you'd see. Whoa, it's too big. Shrink. Mm, Still like it. There we go. That's better. Okay. Of a village. So it's like, oh, what screams village to you? I think this is doing it for me. Something there. Let's put another one up here. These guys may not be the smartest people building next to volcanoes, but whatever. Um, it's not like, we don't have lots of examples of human beings doing that. Don't have to get particularly fantastical to think about people building things in weird places because the short term outlive the long term. Okay. Yeah, liking that. Let's put one up here, kind of a larger one. Okay. Just sort of looking at it from all angles. And again, thinking about your big shapes. I'm really trying to think about composition on this one more than composition and design of the scene itself versus micro design of the objects. I'm not worried about these. They're just blobs. They're just placeholders. But where are they and what's their relative size? And do we like it? And I think we do. Yeah, we don't want to move that one. We like in there. Okay. So let's go. We'll do another layer because I'm going to lock this one and add a new one. Cool. And we'll select a different color. I don't know. Sure. Yeah, it's fine color. But now let's build some other stuff. Let's go back to our rope, as it were. Let's see. Do we want to make some like tubes connecting things? Maybe. It will help set the scale if we know like what a average. So now these two buildings can be. Well, that one's still there. And again, thinking about it from looking this way, how do we feel? Get some lines. I don't know we want too many of these straight lines, though. They feel kind of weird. So maybe I don't want that, but I do want something that kind of comes like along like that. But what do we need them for? They don't need roads. But maybe they're, instead of building up, they do have sort of things that go like that. Turn back down a little bit. So just to give us some lines to guide the eye. Again, we're trying to keep them from being straight. So these things are connected via tunnels. At least some of them are. But the tunnels run along the ground. Like that. And I can edit individual points on these curves. So if like one is too low, but again, I can also just fix that in medium, and I'm probably going to change these around a fair amount anyway. Let's see. So we got some things going there. Let's do the same thing because this is our at least tentative starting point. So let's come all around, down. Let's build some curves there. It's nice, sweepy S curves. Bring us in and feel like it's sort of the human equivalent of roads, I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? Okay. Let's bring that one up just a titch. There we go. Okay. All right. Yeah. And I think when I go back to layer 2, yeah, fine. I just want to select it. Go away. Undo. Redo. Select layer 2. There we go. And select that color again. And put a building here in the foreground. Fairly complicated building, I think, too. Something like that. Just so that we have, as we're looking in, there's going to be something here. Going to have form to it. And I do like that doubling up. So let's do a little bit of that too. Maybe not that much though. There we go. Just a little bit. And shrink down. There. We can just move it later. Where we want it, kind of more. No, don't want it there. Just rotate the whole thing. Yep, that works. Okay, yeah, I'm feeling that. It's actually feeling like a pretty good layout of this sucker. And see, it's super fast. I don't need, this is like thumbnailing. You don't want to do a lot. Now I could definitely work it out more in here if I wanted to. I'm not sure that I really want to. So we could do more bullets. Let's save. Yeah, overwrite. Away. Okay. Now, I mean, I guess I could just take it into medium if you guys don't mind hanging out for 2 minutes while I kind of switch applications. I'll talk while I do it. Seems like fun. All right, so let's export it as OBJ, double-sided. Yep. Sure. All that looks good. And we'll call it that. Sure. And it's going to save, and that's it. So that's all we need to do for that. Now I'm going to go pull it up and move it across. 1 second. I know I don't normally switch apps too much while I'm doing this sort of thing, but let's exit Gravity and bring up Medium. And I really like how these two apps work together. I hope you guys can hear me and it's not too muffled. I have my headset up so I can kind of see what the heck I'm doing too. So there's Medium. And now we just need to grab the exported sketch and move it to a folder you want to put. It puts it in default in documents by default. We don't really want it there. 30 Lava Village, and we're gonna save it. And it automatically zips it too, so you gotta unzip it. That's fine. And extract it. Done. And it's that whole thing, is a meg and a half. So it's a real Gravity Sketch is really small for things, which is good. All right. So now we're in Medium. Woo! Let's open up that file. So file, add meshes clay, spring, paintings, Lava Village, Lava Village, Lava Village. Add, and let's make it, say, at 90. Oh, and this, maybe this won't work just yet. I remember why the problem is. Okay. Can't do this one yet. Okay, you're gonna have to hang out with me for just a second. We'll do this in Blender, but I'll show it. We got to merge our layers first. Because right now, the way Gravity Sketch works, every stroke you make gets captured essentially as a separate 3D object. So we would have hundreds of layers just in even a file that simple once we brought it into Medium, and that sucks. But we can just do it this way. So we're going to import this is Blender 279, and we'll go grab our lava village. Yeah, export to object. It's 7 megs. There we go. So there's our object. There's our village. It's looking good. Go here. I think it's Shift L. Yep. Shift L. Select linked material. Control J, and that merges all those into one. So now this is all one object. Same thing here. Shift L. Material. Control J. All those are one now. And then here, Shift L, material, Control J, and then the last one is this sucker. Shift L, material, Control J. So now if you look here for objects, we should just have, what, 4? Yep, 4 objects. And now export that as an OBJ into, where'd you go? Lava Village. Sure, and we'll even go back up into the root there, and we'll call it Lava Village Merged 1. Export the OBJ. I hope this is moderately interesting, but I know it's not as cool as, watching me do stuff in VR, but there you go. Okay, so done that, it's saved. Now we can just exit Blender. And now we should be able to pull it up in medium. Okay, headset back on. I can't see anything anymore. Life is good. Add mesh as clay. And we're going to go back up a layer. Lava Village. Lava Village merged. 1 object. Yep. Add. Now this time should be good. Let's take it to 85. Split mesh into separate layers. That will keep each of our tech on a different one. There we go. And now we just need to come here and, yep, we're good. But let's just resize these back to 1, 1, 1, and 1. All right. And woohoo! See, there's our thing. It's a little squirrely because some of these things were not well double-sided. So we'll have to do a little bit of cleanup, but that's cool. It's not bad. I don't know what all these extra floaties are here, but again, not bad. Okay, so back to actions. Select that layer, and we'll just clean this crap up. It takes 2 minutes. I didn't have this with the last one, but I didn't try to do these cylinder shapes, and they get funky sometimes. And again, no big deal, because I'm going to vastly manipulate and change these suckers anyway. So I'm not really worried. Like, see, I'm not trying to be clean particularly. That's bizarre. Again, whatever. There's that goes. Okay, and there's another one. You'll notice it didn't export the ground because that was just our stage. So now we can put this on any ground we want to, which was the point. Okay. So I think for clarity, I'm just going to go through and paint things real quick. Paint, and we'll stay on the rocks, and we'll make them gray. Like our ground rocks. So I know what's on what layer. It's just helpful to me. There's no real reason, because I'm not going to keep any of these colors, but it just helps me to figure where the heck I'm at. Okay, so that's our rocks. Select that layer, and we'll go with a nice kind of a yellowish green brown. I don't know why. It's ugly. It's a color I used for one of these things on Octonauts last fall. It's honestly true. It's kind of weird doing underwater stuff again, even if it's my personal project after working on Octonauts. I sort of feel like I'm like, oh, I'm back doing that stuff again. We'll go our ground, and we're going to make them a nice sort of darker orangey color. So now we can see what everything is really easily. Or this was our kind of look that we were kind of vibing on for our ground. It's a little weird when there's no ground plane to see. I could just make one real quick. It might be useful to help keep us sort of in line. Let's do that. Clay, square, angle snap 90, and let's decrease the, oh, I wanted a new one. Scope layer, and then decrease its res because I just want it to be grungy. And to about, where were we, right there? I don't want that color. White. There. Something like that. We can move it. Okay. Something like that. Yeah. So there's our ground again. And we're going to completely throw this away. This is just to help us think while we're making stuff. So it's low poly. It's crap. It's just kind of, because it's hard to think about seeing underground sometimes. So there we go. All right, and then back, and we're going to paint one more thing, and that's those tubes. Yeah, I'm going to have to move them a little bit, I think. But all right. So first thing I think we want to work on is the volcano level. So let's select that color again. And clay. Come down and turn off angle snap. And go to, I'm just going to grab a rock stamp, which is probably overkill, but why not? Rocks. Nice rock. And we're on continuous. We're just going to fill in some of these holes now first. I picked that color. Oh, but I didn't paint. It's weird how paint is keeps track of a different color than stamp. So if you watched me yesterday, I'm doing the exact same thing today. I'm just essentially taking our big shape and adjusting it. I want it to read as much the same shape as before, but I don't want to change the silhouette terribly much, but I want to make it feel bumpy. So that we don't feel like it's just a straight tube. If I were doing this the right way, I should really have some examples of lava tubes to look at right now, because they do have a specific look, and I'm sure I'm missing it. But whatever. I'm going to be lazy today. Sorry. Okay. So just trying to give it some interest. That doesn't come straight as a circle out, and it has some bump to it, some teeth, as it were. Merge directly into our rock, which we're going to play with in a second. This kind of stuff can take a little longer, actually, than doing a character, just because there's more area to go over. But the advantage to this, particularly of our human character, is there's literally no way to make this wrong. You can make it unappealing, but you can't make it wrong, because it doesn't exist, and it's just an environment. It's not like a character where it's like, his eyes are in the wrong spot. Yeah, don't worry about it. You're just making your own, to be a Bob Ross, you're just making your own happy little world. You know, it can be your world and look exactly the way you want it to. And don't let anybody tell you you're making it wrong. I have graduated to Rossdom now. It's kind of awesome. Okay, and we're gonna come here and get rid of that rim. Just in case someone looks down, I'll give it a tube. It kind of comes in on the inside since it does exist there. And then we'll smooth that. We'll get rid of that again. And then head back in the ground. It's literally just a hole. This one kind of goes down enough that I'm not too worried about it. Okay. Next one over here. Going around the edge. And down. Just trying to be junky a bit. Changing size a little bit, but not too much. Just kind of making my move. See, this is pretty low poly, I think. I'm going to make sure it is in a minute, but I don't need this to be high poly. Even after I'm done with this, it can be very janky. Okay, yep, that I don't like. Too much of a lip there. You're going to see things later as you fix it. That's cool. Okay, yeah, that's better. Again, too much of a lip. Okay, here, in and around. I'm going to change my rock tool to a different rock. Just to keep me honest. I'll go with a very basic rock. You can see how simple this is. There's not rocket science here. This is just building Legos, man. Okay, and we are gonna kind of pull it out a little bit. It's not quite so tubed, although they really do kind of stick straight up from what I've seen. But okay. And again, we're gonna kind of go in, do that, and we'll use the move tool. Pull this one up a little bit, I think, so it's not quite on the same level as the other one, which are the kinds of decisions you can make. I'm actually going to do that here and adjust these sizes. So this, yeah, that's way better. They're not perfect cylinders anymore. I should have done that before. Okay. And around. Up and curve that one in. That's a little too much. Let's bring it back a little bit. Bring it down. And then we can pull that literally into our rock and fill it in there. Okay. Oop, that is definitely too much of a rim. See how it looks like it's obvious and it draws your attention? Or at least it drew my attention. You do not want that. I think if we do that, it'll help too. Okay, yeah, it's better. And time for the last one. In this spot, there's a couple more outside. Fill it in. Adjust it out. And there we go. Okay, let's save. Clear 190430 Lava Village 1A. Just to differentiate it from the Gravity Sketch one once it's saved. I did have one more attached to here. Let's fill it in. I'm just going to build this one up myself instead of, I might pull it too. The move tool is a very addictive thing to play with. Okay, yeah, right on. So back up here, yeah, it feels good. Kind of like that level of lip, just fine. Here, I like that this one kind of does this concave thing. We want to keep that. We also want to make it or convex or whatever, sorry. But I'm going to make it look smooth. These things are just basically bubbled lava over time, so we kind of want them to feel almost like a mud pile to me. So like these striations and stripes are actually kind of appropriate. Cutting into this one a bit. And move tool. It's going to go wider at the top. Yeah, that's cool. Like that. Save. Do something you like, save it. Okay, well, that's the last one. Oh, two more. Okay. Beep. This one's literally got a house built right into the side of it. It's probably not active anymore. Okay. I'll turn it that way. Okay. Again, thinking of from our viewpoint, is that the best way to turn it? Maybe we're better like that. Gives us a little more interest. Yeah, cool. And this boy over here kind of got pushed down a little bit, or my ground is higher than I thought, but let's bring him up a bit. And we're going to go all the way down the inside, just because, again, he's kind of lower, so we might see down the top. And I don't know if this is interesting or not, but this is just how I think when I'm doing this stuff. Some of the stuff, it's just like the rendering armor and such in paint. It just takes a little while, and you're like, oh well, you just kind of got to do it. Then I don't know if it's exciting in any way. All right, so there's our lava rocks. Now we got to play with our regular rocks, I think. Let's save again. Okay. Go to that layer, and we'll select that color. And actually, first, before I do that, let's see here, and we're just going to decrease the res on those. They're not, there's no need for them to be high res, so let's keep them low. That's fine. And let's make them all sub to layer 1. Even though there's nothing on layer 1. Now at least I can turn the whole village on off at one time. Okay. So the rocks. I actually want them to be a little higher in res. Maybe. We're going to attempt it, at least to start with, and see. Because I want them to be a bit more faceted. I'm going to pick a slightly more complex rock, but I also don't want to have a ton of like that moldy sense. So I want to make bigger shapes too, like this. See what I'm trying to kind of do? I'm trying to stay fairly true to the shape we designed in Gravity, but just give it a bit more visual noise and interest. I want them to feel like rock shelves. That's pretty good to me. The rest we can fix with textures. But that's kind of the level I want for this thing. So like this guy, he might literally just be pretty much replaced with that. And that looks okay to me. And we'll cover that too. But there you go. So simple. Him. I'm going to do the same. We just want to make sure we don't mess up our... kind of like that. So it's got a different... we are going to fix that though. Okay. Let's get rid of those two. We know they're there. We're going to use them as a placemat, so I don't have to worry about what they're going to do. Like that. No, I want to keep it flat because I want the difference to be obvious that our tubes go up and our rocks, in fact, I'm going to flatten that one too. Not that much. Our rocks are flatter and our lava tubes go up. So we keep the design language, the two different. I think that will help us going forward. And here, let's delete that one again. And it just kind of had this one where it's going around the whole lava tube. So we'll do that again. Okay. This bad boy's a bit big, so we'll leave it there. We're just going to do the same kind of like fill in. And I'm going to adjust it, turn the stamp slightly so that I don't. There we go. Pull it down. Again, I kind of want to remember that I wanted to see that house, and that was the reason I made this one. So there we go. We got a rock. Okay, here we'll nuke this rock again. It took me forever to figure this out, and I'm still not good at it with drawing. And that's to remember that just because you put something there doesn't mean you have to leave it there. I get very caught up in, but that's what's there, and it does not matter. I'm so bad about it. It's kind of frustrating, but I have a very strong sense of, I guess, object permanence is a good way to put it. And so I know, but it was there. And like, yeah, but it doesn't matter, Seth. Okay. And that's what one of the things I really struggle with actually with making art. It's why you'll notice if you watch me that I don't do a lot of sketches and then to finals. I just tend to like tighten things up, and that's why. It's because it's like, but it's there. It doesn't matter, man. But, you know, so just a guide work. It's just framing. There we go. That's cool. Kind of like that cliff look there. Okay. I'm kind of enjoying just erasing these and redoing them now that I kind of knew where I wanted them. It makes it a sense of freedom. Kind of like having rock down at the base of the building, so I kind of enjoying doing that with a bit more. Yeah, I think I am going to cut that. I just pushed it, but I think we're going to cut. But that's the problem with this cut is it makes that, which I don't like. It looks too repeated, but that's better. So you got to sometimes come in and come out. It's like shale terraces now, or lava rock, which, well, we're in a lava area, so that makes sense. So this one, remember, had that up thing, so we kind of want to think about that. Okay, make it as big as we can. There. There. So this one's kind of built into the side of this rock. We are going to still flatten it down a bit. Not quite that much. So that we're going to give it that sense that the rock kind of goes around. It was literally built into the rock, and this one's going to come all the way to our edge there. Okay. Is that all of our rocks? One more. Big guy right here in the front. And he's one of the ones we kind of want to make sure we make look right, because we're at least tentatively thinking that this is going to be close to our angle of camera. May change, but tentatively. Okay, so that's our, as we cut, and give it almost like it's got like a walkway. That I don't like. Okay, how do we feel about that? That's okay. I come back down again, look at it from the starting point, see what we see. And I think I like what I see. I think I am going to come in here and just throw a couple of rocks into this. So that when we texture things, you'll see that there's like, it's not a monotextural thing. But some of these other rocks have gotten picked up and moved in here. And I think the texture on these shapes are going to be probably much more similar than different right now. So right now, that green and gray is very noticeable, but in the future, I don't know that it will be. Just add a bit of that. I think around here, I'm going to give this guy, this may actually even get hero rocks in the foreground. But we can still kind of do that around our ground. Okay. Right. There we go. Cool. Let's save. Okay. So now, the fuck do we do with the buildings? That's gonna be that's the question. I don't have a good answer yet. So let's look and think for a minute. I think that the first thing we want to do is create a new layer. Increase throws on it. 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, this is tiny. Okay. Doesn't matter, but it's interesting. And we're going to set its settings, and we're going to make it emissive. And strength to 100. And color to a nice. We don't have anything really strongly blue. Yeah. And save. Now, I want to put windows into this because I think this is going to be a fairly dark scene, and we're going to light it with our thing. So layer 3 is our window. Let's just build one right first. We're going to cut a hole into here. Go to layer 3 and add a light. So it's going to be like that. And we may actually leave them as pretty much just tubes. Definitely tell when we're on the right layer because it'll glow or not. And that's why I did that, because I know it's going to be a pain otherwise to figure this shit out. And this is a little bit tedious to like switch layers constantly, but I think we kind of need to do it. But I'm liking that. I go to single. Cut in. And a light. Actually, add it further in though, so it's like there's a light inside. Okay. Good enough. With this building, I'm going to stretch it up a bit, make it a little less regular. There we go. And then I'm going to just, I think I'm going to cut holes a couple at a time first. And that way I can just come back through one time. And go that layer. Yeah, that's going to work, I think. I am hopeful that we have found a solution I enjoy. Blow that up. Pull that out. Save. So I haven't been saving as much, but in the last couple times I've had Medium crash on me, and that'll make you save. You're like, oh, god damn it. So there's no rhyme or reason, by the way, to where I'm putting these other than it just kind of I want some windows. I'm not doing a great job of being designy on it. I probably should. This may go a little longer than normal. I have no idea how long I'm going. Smurf Village, kinda. But yeah, it's cool. So here, again, we're going to use the pull tool, or the move tool rather, but we're going to pull it and make it feel like it flips directly onto the shape there, like that. So it's almost like it's been kind of thinking, what's the term? I don't know, the when insects build stuff out of saliva, right? And it's or tube worms in the ocean, the same kind of thing. And there's just like they grow it basically. So it's a bio building as much as anything else. I haven't decided which of my civilizations is going to live here. It could very easily be the crustaceans, and that would make a certain amount of sense. Okay, cool. Save again. Okay, come to here and cut bigger hole. I was going to have 3 there and 3 there. It can be a bit weird, but why not? Yeah, I like that. Okay. I mean, I keep saying that, but it's good to double check yourself because sometimes you can get into doing something and then be like, I fucking hate it afterward. It's certainly happened to me before. Big hole there. There. This one's got a lot of windows. That's fine. And kind of taking my time with it. This is very relaxing. It's very much like rendering a 2D painting. It's like you just sit there and you do stuff. Zoom out, see how it looks. It feels very sort of Smurf Village to me, which is kind of what I want it to feel like. So, cool. Zoom back in really fast. Woo! Head rush. Put a window there. Window there. I'm just going to do 2 at once there. I think these guys can kind of as much. They don't all need to have tons of lights. Some of them could have no lights, but then I think they get lost. So we're going to make sure that they have at least 1, I think, on each one if I can. Look, we made it with 1. Woohoo! Light, 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 light. Yeah. Yes. I also love that Octane can handle this much light, this many lights. Like I'm gonna have 200 plus lights on these guys at the end. Octane's not gonna blink. It'll be fine. Here. Kind of do a nice ring on this guy. The other advantage too, let me a second ring up here, to deciding that they're going to be bio is that they don't have to follow any kind of particular um, plan. You know, like they can look organic, which in fact I want them to look organic. So I don't need to be like, follow this line here perfectly and that line there and all that crap. We don't need to do that. Okay. Here. I really like that circle, so let's do that again. 2, 3, 4. Go close together. 5. This will be a very bright one. And select our layer again. Yep. Got most of them. Making sure that I didn't. Okay. Save. It's been a bit. Hey Bruno, if you're still here. It's really weird that I can't see when people show up on these things. Sometimes it's a little disconcerting. Or a half one there. Okay, and select the light layer again. There, sure. Yeah, from back here it's cool. Like it's like kind of testing. Like, yeah, that definitely feels villagey, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. So cool. I think I'm hitting my vibe. There we go. Select our layer again. Those. There. That's in. Okay. Cool. Here. Give him a big hole there. Big hole there. 1, 2, 3. Kind of enjoying doing these circles now. Kind of come upon a design philosophy and you're like, ah, that'll work. Yeah. And let's just egg it a bit, which will also change the shape of those, which is kind of cool. Yeah, okay, I don't mind that one's further back. That's cool. Okay. This one's just going to have 1 or 2 because it's a small house. And we're the same one here. Push that in a little bit. Grab that. That. There we go. Ah, yes. So I'm just going to have 1. Maybe because I'm getting bored. I don't know. No, I'm not. I'm having a good time. Okay. There we go. Cool. Same deal with this guy. We'll give him lights around this, what do we call it? Window or road. Lights over here. And a light up there. Like that. No, too much. You probably get them all this time. I did. Okay, save. You don't realize just how many buildings make you start putting windows in all of them. You're like, oh my god, I was just like dropping little blobs freaking everywhere here. Just cool. And I don't know, obviously or not, but I'll just say it because to me it makes sense. If there comes a time where I needed to zoom in fairly close to this thing, we would have to make one of these models separately. This is an establishing shot model. This is not meant to hold up if you got much closer than that, right? Like from here in the dark with some murky fog, it's going to look badass. From here, it looks pretty shitty, and that's okay because if we can always just take our model, cut out the section we don't want, and upres parts of it. But if we tried to make the whole thing super high res, A, we don't need it because we don't know exactly what we're going to use, and B, it would take forever. And it's the difference between another big one, illustration and video game level design. Like you're not going to be able to traverse this whole sucker at one time. So I don't need to worry about it. I just need to give an impression of the detail that's here so I can show it to somebody. 2 sounds fine. And I actually haven't done a lot of like pulling. Mostly, you'll note on most of these, I'm just leaving them circular because it's fine. It looks good. I think we're down to just that one building left in the foreground here. And this guy, I'm actually going to adjust a bit. I want to make him feel a little more designed. So we're going to make him circular. I have lots of these little circles here. That looks like a penis. I don't know, it still looks like a penis. Yeah, I think it's just going to look like a penis. All right. And let's cut. And we're going to give it a big window there and a big door here. And a window here, here. If I have to fix anything in paint, this will be the one. And I know that. Assuming that I keep that angle. This one may require more more love. Okay, there we go. We're back to our okay. I just want to see how high res this thing is. I don't even remember. Oh, it's not bad. Can we decrease it and have it work? Looks like it. I'm always interested in keep my poly count low because it just makes my life easier. Alrighty, there's looking good. The roads. I don't know that I'm going to do anything to them other than just texture them in Octane. But I'm trying to think like what I would do to them to make them more appealing. I could yeah, we'll stick to the road color too. I could do something like that. Give it some like support here and here. Places where it's elevated just to have kind of makes it feel more high tech to me, but it's not really true. Do that. That. That's a good thing to do. How do you feel about it? Yeah, I like that. That's cool. Just to have a bit of intent to it. All of this is designed so that you want to be so that someone in 3 seconds can look at your scene and know that that's an intentional thing. That it's not just some random growth, but is that it exists. Now, the one other thing I'm going to do, well, first off, I'm going to save. And I'm going to do a little bit of cinematic cheating, I think, which is to say this would not actually look like this in real life, but emissive, 100% color, a nice warm red. And yeah, we're going to put some glow inside these things. Well, we want to go up. We need to go increase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sure. Too high. There. 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 That might be too high too. There. Still might be too high. I want to go down as low as I can, but I still want to be seen. push them in. I just wanted to have a neat, cool, warm glow to these so that they feel like lava tubes. And we can be like, oh, yes, there's a lava tube. And that's the kind of thing that is not real at all. But there we go. One more. And it will add a nice sort of another light source to our scene. So we're like that. Now let's just, this is not what it's going to look like in Octane, but let's just for funsies. Let's see, go to our, come here, give me my scene graph. And light, settings, brightness down, and world. Down. And this is kind of what we want to look like, right? So it's going to be a little bit like that. And we'll play with it a lot. But yeah, I think that's going to work. Bring it back to 1. And save. Well, I'm actually going to do one more thing before I export. And I want to save again. Layer 2. Yeah, we're just going to delete layer 2. So this is our rock scene without a ground plane. If we didn't show this stuff, we'd have to fix a bit more here. But I think we know we're gonna put the ground plane back there. It should be right at 0, 0 or roughly, and we can adjust it to be where we want it to be. And that cuts down our poly count. Rocks. I'm going to decrease the hell out of that res. Not really that high. Micro details I can always get in Octane. So that's much better. It's a little bit more blobby, but again, we're looking at our scene from like back here, and those rocks are fine. That one's there, we'll leave that there. That one there. We'll actually decrease these as well. Those there, that'll smooth it down a bit. That, and we'll leave those there. And that looks good to me. Okay. And now let's save again. Now we've sort of adjusted our resolution on everything. And export. Where we at? See, we're only at 1.6 million triangles. We're not high at all. This is good. Tangent. It means we can put a lot of other stuff in the scene without blowing it out, which is nice. That's what we want to do. Export. Paintings. Lava Village. Lava Village 1A. Export. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. So you saw I started in Gravity Sketch, built a very rough model to check the big and medium shapes and how they read for the design. Exported that. We went into Blender. We selected by material so that we could join them together to make it simplified to bring into medium. We brought it into medium. We sculpted our small details and our lights and all that kind of stuff. And now we're ready to take it into either a texturing program like Substance if we want to be really nuts. I'm not going to do that. Or Octane, and we will use procedural textures and give it a good render. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was educational or fun or otherwise a good way to avoid thinking about the bland existence of life for an hour or so. And yeah, today being the last day of April, tomorrow I'm going to start making actual scenes for Mermaid using some of these assets that we've been making for the last 2 weeks. Anyway, hope everything's going well. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you later. All right, bye-bye.